Has this ever happened to you? You got about 10 minutes of class left. Students are pretty much done with the work. And you're kind of like, what do I do next? And you say, okay, guys, go ahead and relax a little bit. And then next thing you know, all chaos breaks out in your classroom. Now, if it hasn't happened to you, you're very lucky, but it's happened to me many times. And so from that, I can tell you this, for classroom management, one of the things you gotta make sure you really have down is how you're going to end your class period. There's a saying, bell to bell, bell to bell. Make sure students are engaged from bell to bell, from the beginning of the bell to the end of the bell. And so what do you do at the end of class is very important. You put all this effort in from the very beginning of class and all class period. Do not let up. Do not let, I've been there at the end of class. Man, okay, I just got a few more minutes. Can I make it? Do not let up. And so here's what you should be doing, or thinking about at the end of class. And more importantly, here's what I do. So take from it what you can of how I wrap up my class period. One thing is, I'm always keeping a track of the time. Whatever it takes for you to do that, make sure you're very conscientious, hold on, say that, of the time. If you're expecting students to work bell to bell, make sure you actually give them enough time to wrap up what they have to wrap up in your class, and then that way they get to the next class on time. It's only respectful to the student as well as the other teacher. And you can't hold students to that standard if you're not holding yourself to that standard of making sure you get them out on time. So always pay attention to the time. So for me, I always got my watch, I got a clock up here, I got a clock up here, I got it on my seating chart. I'm very conscious of the time. And so what I do about 4 minutes, about 4 minutes before the bell is about to ring, I will start to walk the room. I'll just start to walk the room. I'll look at the desk. If there's any writing on the desk, I'll make sure a student takes care of it. If there's trash on the desk, I'll make sure we take care of that. Whatever else it is, I make sure that I take care of it about 4 minutes before the bell rings. And then I kind of do them around. And then, now here's the other important part of it. You got to make sure you have work for the student up until that time period. So when you do your lesson planning, always over plan. And so if you're giving them a worksheet that, let's say, 20 questions is what you want them to complete, I would do it up to 30 questions with the other 10 questions beyond that, kind of more enrichment, I guess you would say, right? But always make sure you give them more work than you think you need. And so with that said, that way students are always working. If a student is done with something, make sure you have a plan to know what they can work on next. Now, whatever you do, make sure it's not busy work. That's the worst. Do not just give students work because busy work. No. Make sure it actually helps with the learning. However you want to do it. Enrichment helps with learning, more information, more detail, however you do it. But make sure you have something that will last the entire class period. So here we go, 4 minutes. I check the room. I walk the room, make sure the room is looking good. Now, 2 minutes before the bell rings, here's what I'll tell my students. I say, all right, guys, go ahead and pack it up. Go ahead and grab your backpacks and go back to your seat. What I love is definitely by the end of the year, I'll have kids kind of quoting me what they know they know what I'm going to say. And I believe that's actually a good thing. That if your class becomes not boring but predictable, then that's a good thing. Kids love that stability. They love knowing what to expect. And so 2 minutes before the bell rings, I say once again, all right, guys, go ahead and pack it up, grab your backpacks, and go right back to your seat. And so we have a policy. We have our backpacks stored up front, so students will get up, grab their backpacks, and go back to their seat. The important part is they go back to your seat. Because if they just grab their backpacks, they're roaming the room, there's a lot of things that could go wrong in those 2 minutes. And so students will grab their backpacks and they'll go back to their seat. So now, here's what I got. I got all the room looking good. Paper, desk, everything's looking good. Students now have all of this stuff that they need at their desk. And I will tell students, I said, I'll let you know when it's okay to go. And so what I'll say, probably about 5 seconds before the bell rings, I'll say, all right, everything looks good. When the bell rings, you're free to go. Now, if they don't hear that from me, then that means something's going on. Maybe there's 2 kids horse playing. Maybe there's a dirty area, whatever else it is. But the word is, or the message is that I dismissed the class, not the bell. And actually, right before that, I'll prop the door open right here. And so the bell rings, I will stand right here. What this does, it allows me to monitor the room. I don't want to be out there. I don't want to be at my desk. A lot of things can still happen. And so as the kids are leaving, I'm right here. Plus, this is a great way of building those relationships. As they're leaving, you can do your high fives, great work day, good job, excellent, how you do it. You can have a quick conversation as they're leaving, and then they leave. But the key is this, bell to bell, make sure you have enough work. Idle hands are the devil's playground. Make sure they got enough work. And then give them time to pack it up, make sure they go back to their seat, and then make sure you choose a part of the room so you can monitor as they exit.